As the White House denies stranding thousands of Americans, my next guest, who served in the Army Reserves in Afghanistan, says Biden is also betraying our allies. Joining me live is Republican candidate for Congress in Illinois' 17th Congressional District and United States Army Reservist Esther Joy King. Esther, thanks for being here. Thanks for your service, everything you've done for our country, and continue to wanting to serve at this point in Congress. Look, you've been in Afghanistan. You know what it's like there. And I know that you still have friends on the ground there, friends who are very scared right now. Can you tell me what they're telling you?
Yes, absolutely. I intimately care about this situation for two reasons. One, I served as an aid worker working on women's rights in Kabul, and I've still worked on women's rights, helping female students, and I'm in active conversation with those girls. And then secondly, on the military side, I am a member of the Army Reserve, and seeing what's happening from a military strategy perspective, I will say all my opinions in this conversation we're having are my own and not endorsed by the D. But you asked me about the stories. Since I wrote the op-ed, the stories have simply intensified. I mean, talking with girls who are trying to get through the gates, they're 50 meters from the gates. Can you imagine being 50 meters from freedom and getting through to the airport? And the Taliban is having visa checkpoints. Get this. Our United States Department of State is working with the Taliban to help process people because they're overwhelmed. So they're outsourcing visa checks to the Taliban. That's the state that it is on the ground, and it is absolutely a horrendous situation, and this lies squarely on the shoulders of the Biden administration and poor leadership. Our leaders are missing in action right now, and that's why I'm running for Congress, is because we need better leaders in Washington, D.C. who are real-world problem solvers and just operate with common sense.
But if they're outsourcing some of these visa checkpoints to the Taliban, in theory, doesn't that put a lot more people in harm's way? Because if they don't get through these checkpoints, now all of a sudden you have a red flag raised and the Taliban knows who you are.
Right now, the airport lines are so crowded. It's just a chaotic experience where people are just trying to do their best on the ground, the people that are trying to get through. In fact, we were having this whole conversation of prioritizing American citizens, which we should absolutely do. However, the crowds are part of the reason that the American citizens aren't able to get to the airport. And what I think should happen is we should choose a third location where we can take immigrants to, where they would be safe, and clear out some of those crowds, because there's so many of our friends and allies right there trying to get to safety. They're not just fighting for their freedom, they're fighting for their lives.
For their lives, yeah.
And we should be able to keep them safe.
I know that you have a few friends. We have just about a minute left, but I was reading in the notes here that one of your friends, a 21-year-old female, was murdered by the Taliban on the side of the road. I'm so sorry to hear this, and the reason behind it is just, it honestly turns your stomach. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah. Stopped on the side of the road for the sin of traveling without a male escort under Taliban law. That is a sin to be put to death under, which is tragic. But I will say this, even in the midst of all this chaos that is directly Biden administration's responsibility, there are stories of hope. There are stories of heroism. This story is not over yet, and every life that we are able to save, American citizen, friend, ally, is of infinite value. So there's hopeful things happening. I've been able to help 8 people get out of Kabul, and I'm not going to quit working until I can save every person that I can.
Oh my gosh, Esther Joy King, thank you so much for everything you've done. Keep us updated. We'd love to check back in with you and hear if you're able to help more people get out of there. We do love to hear those stories. Thank you.